Hey, Mike, we're live on YouTube, and if you can go ahead and talk while I get it on Free Financial Friday.
All right. Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Motivational Mike, and I want to welcome each and every one of you all to another edition of Free Financial Fridays. Uh my name is Mike Stroud, better known as Motivational Mike. We're going to be talking about credit utilization. Hopefully you all can see me out there a little bit. I'm kind of in a dark place right here right now, but however, you all can hear me just as good. So that being said, we're going to get started here in just a minute. Hopefully everybody's having a great Friday and everything. And this is the end of the week, and I know a lot of folks are trying to wind down. But we have some great information that we want to give to you, that we want you to take away and have for your own personal use here. And we're going to have that for you in just a couple of minutes here. Greg, are you ready?
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
Technology.
Okay.
What's your
Well,
favorite saying?
mhm,
What's your favorite saying about technology?
I love technology and technology loves me. That'll give you a boost. Well, we talked about payment history last week, and we had a lot of fun with that. And we talked about scores a little bit there too. And uh, along with that, we talked about certain account types, late payments. If you can't pay your bills, pick which one, Fair Credit Reporting Rights Act. And we talked about quite a few things last week. But this week, we're going to be talking about credit utilization. Boy, that thing is a tongue twister for me. Utilization. Ooh. And what does that mean? That means that the credit limit that you have, you're only going to utilize a certain amount of that limit so you can get the maximum score that they factor in your credit score. So with that being said, we're going to, okay, here we go. It looks like we're getting ready to get something here. Almost there, Greg.
Almost there.
Almost there. Credit utilization. Now, one of the things that I uh, always knew is that when it comes to credit utilization, we have total control of that. Okay, here we are. We got something here. Credit utilization. Hmm.
Hey, Mike, we're ready to rock and roll.
Okay. If you can go ahead and bring down that. Is that the first slide that you have?
Yes, we are.
Okay, there we go. Credit utilization. Now, this refers to the amount of credit that you have used compared to the amount of credit that has been extended to you by a lender. Now, I hope everybody understands that. Okay. For example, you have a $5,000 credit limit on your card with a $500 balance. That will equal 10% utilization. Hmm. Now, we got another example here. You have that same card or a card, $5,000 with $4,000 balance. That equals 80% utilization. You're way over the mark with that. We want to keep that utilization down at least 30% or below. Next slide, Greg.
Okay, credit utilization. Awesome. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Credit utilization. We addressed the whole score. Whole score. Now, the scores range from 300 to 850. Everybody starts off with 300 and you can max it out at 850. That gives you, when you do the math correctly, 300 minus 850 minus 300 gives you 550 points to work with. And that's how they come up with that. But your credit utilization is 30% of your score, 30% of your score. And that will give you, which equals 165 max points. So how do we get there? We have 550 points to work with. And if we do the math is 0.30 times 550. And it should equal 165 max points. We can get there when we keep it down under 30%. Okay, the most peaceful part about your score, the most impactful, my apology, part of your score, impactful, because you control
Lose your mic. Not sure what happened, but what happens here is that you have control 100% of the points when it comes to credit utilization. We talked about payment history last week, but you're not able to control that. You got to write letters, you got to talk to your creditors and different
what
things
I
like that.
have.
Oh, Mike, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you had disappeared.
Oh, okay. My internet is unstable. Go ahead and take that next slide.
Okay. So, good ratio. Now, how do you calculate the ratio percentage? You divide, as Mike said, the debt by the total credit. 30%, if you keep it around 30%, that's about the max you want it to be. You want to keep it below 30%. People with 800 scores, look at this. They average 7%. Zero doesn't hurt you. 0%, try to keep it at zero as long as you're using your card. And then utilization is based on revolving credit only, not your installment debt. Installment credit is your car, your mortgage, things of that nature. That's not included when it comes to credit utilization. That's why we're saying you have total 100% control of this. And again, as you see to the right here, if you got a $50,000 credit card and you spend $3,000 on it, that's only 6% utilization. That's great. If you can keep it below 10%, you're doing great. It makes sense, everybody?
Yes.
Now, last week, we asked everybody, as part of your assignment, or the one thing you should do, tip, is to go to Credit Karma and pull your credit report. Now, as we said, Credit Karma is really not good for your scores because it's not your FICO scores, and it can be off by a lot of points, but it's good for other things. Okay? So if you got your Credit Karma, we want you to look at it, right, and monitor your utilization. Excuse me, right. As your utilization drops, your credit score should increase. So if you have your Credit Karma account, just go ahead to where it says credit card use, and it will show you your percentage. Okay, it's going to show you how much is owed and how much is outstanding. So that was last week's assignment. And that's why we wanted you to just pull it and look at it. You can also get some of your accounts that are listed and to show you what you got, what you have. You back, Mike? Okay, so some ways to
Yeah, I'm
improve.
here.
Okay, some ways to improve your utilization. One, you can ask for higher credit limits. Be careful with this one because if you're not good at saving and spending and watching what you're doing with your credit card, we don't want you to have a $5,000 credit card. You got $4,000 of uses on it. And then you get your 10,000, get it raised to 10,000 limit, and then you're going to start spending more. So if you're going to do this, if you can't control your spending, don't do this. Okay. But this is a great way to get your utilization improved. A lot of companies, and we show you in our system, where you can get you a credit card and after good payment, they'll raise your limit. So, which is a good thing. Okay. You can consolidate your debt. Now, this you have to be careful of because this can be good, it could be bad. So, you really, really, really have to be careful with this. And we'll talk about this at another time as to why. But if you're going to consolidate your debt, be really, really careful about how it's going to impact your credit score. Another way to lower your utilization is to get new credit. Okay, because when you get new credit, that means uh, your credit increases, which lowers your utilization. And of course, the big one, or the easiest, I don't want to say the easiest one, but the obvious one is to eliminate debt. Any comments, Mike? Bertha, any guys got a comment?
Yeah,
This is
that's right. I mean, I totally agree. Uh, if you could eliminate the debt, that's the best source. But if you can't pay as much on it as you can, uh, don't pay just the minimum. Pay double or triple if you can. Um, because if you just pay the minimum, you're just paying interest. You're not even paying on the credit card at all. So
exactly
yeah, that's some good stuff. Yeah.
okay. And she just hit the next slide right on the head. A couple of ways you can start eliminating your debt. The first one is called the snowball effect. Okay. This is where you make a list of all your debts. You write the balances next to each debt. Reorder the debt from the smallest to the largest. So the smallest that you have is first, the next smallest is second, so on and so forth. You pay the minimum on all the debts except the smallest. This is what Miss Bertha Winston was talking about. Put every extra dollar to paying off that smallest debt. And make sure you tell them that put it to the principal. Right? Then after paying off the smallest debt, you take and apply all the money from debt one and then apply that to debt two. Everybody understand this? This makes sense to people?
Absolutely.
Take the smallest debt, pay that off, just the way Ms. Winston mentioned. Try to take all the money you want that you can, that you have available, and add it to the principal. Make sure you're telling you want it on the principal. Because some places, if you don't, they apply some of it to the interest. Just to pay off the smallest debt the quickest. Now you got what you were paying on the smallest debt, plus the extra money that you were paying on the smallest debt, and now you're paying that on your next debt. That's called the snowball effect. The other one some people like to do is you're going to do the same thing. Make a list of all your debts. Again, but this time, you're going to write the balance. But this time, you're going to go from the largest interest rate that you're paying to the smallest. So whichever one has the highest interest rate, that's going to be the first one, the next one, so on and so forth. So you kind of setting it up the same way, but you're paying it off for different reasons. So pay the minimum on all your credit cards, all your debts, except the debt with the largest APR, which is your interest. Again, put every extra dollar into paying off the debt. After paying off the largest debt, then you take all of that money and start paying it off on the next one. So if you're trying to get out of debt, you need to have a plan. You got to have a system. Okay. So here's the action step for this week. You want to go with this, Mike?
Yes. Okay. Choose a debt elimination plan. Now, I hear Miss Bertha's voice in my ear. She always saying, get a budget and stick to it. So I'm always rewriting it over and over and over again and looking at it. Sometimes I'm putting it up on the refrigerator so I can make sure I have that bad boy. But choose your debt elimination plan. You need to have a plan, target that you're going to hit, and you need to see it. List all your debts and balances. Order them. Write down ideas to pay down debt. For example, consolidate your debt. This is one that Greg, you were talking about we have to be careful about, and you're going to go into a little bit more detail about that to broaden your perspective about it. Minimize unnecessary expenses. Wow, that's a big one. Woo! You talking about going through there and just terminating, eliminating, deleting, and getting rid of a lot of stuff that's unnecessary. Increase your income. Wow. Ask for a raise at your job. I say perform your job well enough so they'll give you one. Get a part-time job. Hey, I like that one. I'm actively doing that myself. So we can pay down some of this debt and then divert a percentage of it over to my investment account so I could build it. Okay, here's another one that I love. Start a business. Wow. Now, if you want to start your business, you got a couple of people here on this line that can get you started in the right direction on that one. Okay, and determine how much additional money you can put towards your debt. Wow. That's powerful.
Yes,
Next
it
slide.
is. That's it,
Anybody want
buddy.
to hit on that? Miss Bertha, I know she's very disciplined. The way she talks, she talks in a manner where you have to practice these disciplines. I've been listening to her for a long time. She got me straight.
Yeah, like Greg said, if you don't have a plan, then you plan to fail. You got to have a plan because the Bible tells us, write the vision and make it plain on the tablets, right?
Hey,
So, somebody asked me, I was on a podcast last night, and she was asking me how did I um, uh, differentiate with the finances and the Christianity. I said, well, if you read the Bible, it talks more about finances than any other book. I said, you just got to know what it says. And I was giving her some script. She said, she was in London, she was in the UK. And she said, that's right. I said, yeah. So I follow the Bible and they both go together because God talks about finances a whole lot in the Bible. So she was like, kind of like, she said, I like that. I like that. You're right. You're right. It's like, it's right there in the word. So yeah,
Yeah.
you really got to have a plan and follow it, you know, and be a doer of it. Talk the talk and walk the walk too.
yep. And there's I believe it's 3,550 scriptures about managing God's money and finances
Come on now.
in the Bible. Less than
Come
Absolutely.
on.
and
Hmm.
less than 500 about prayer. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
Mm.
right.
So
He
what does
talks
that
about,
tell you?
and people don't realize that, they don't know.
Yes.
I'm
Exactly.
gonna
So that
jump
means
off
God.
y'all and get on this live. So I'll see y'all on the
Oh, that's
live
right.
or see you
Okay.
later. All right. God bless.
All right,
All right.
thank you for
Thank you, Ms.
joining.
Bertha. Appreciate you. Greg, I'm gonna have to pull out on you in a minute
I
too,
got
but
you.
I do want to talk about how powerful that is in God's eye because he knew uh, he had it in his word because he knew we would need help with finances a whole lot more than in times where because he only talked about faith a third of that. So he knew we would need a lot of help with our finances.
Absolutely. Because it's his money. Wants you to be a good steward of it.
Amen.
All right. So yeah, get a plan. So this is step 2. Last week was to go to Credit Karma and get you an account so you can look at your utilization. This week, list your debts and balances, order them, choose which method you want to use, the snowball and avalanche, and then see about other ways you can get some extra income. If you need help with the extra income or finding extra money, get with us because we have somebody who can help you with budgeting. We can have people to help you get started with a business. We can have people show you how to reduce your taxes. But there's extra money out there. You just don't know it. Okay? Just got to have somebody show you how to get it. So with that, I guess we can close out. You still there, Mike? You got time to close out?
Yes, sir. All right, Greg, that was very good. That was very great information. Hopefully, somebody was taking notes. I know I was writing these notes down on the tablet of my heart. So I want to thank each and every one of you all who joined us today on the Zoom call and on. Were we on Facebook or was that
Well,
YouTube?
we was on YouTube, but I shared it to Facebook, so we're still in Free Financial Fridays.
Okay, so thank you all. I hope you got some great takeaways, and we'll see you next time at the same bad time next week for another edition of Free Financial Friday. And we'll be talking about credit